All right, good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me on this great episode of your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, about 2 weeks ago, I predicted here that in a short while, we might begin to see people getting sacked and some willingly resigning from the Tinubu cabinet. And the reason is simple. There is too much confusion and vested personal interest in this government. And some of you agreed that there could be sacking of cabinet members, but no one believed that anyone would want to resign willingly. Because here in Nigeria, government officials and appointees don't resign no matter how bad the situation is. But when things that have never happened before begin happening, we might begin to see the kind of reactions that we have never seen before. And that is what we are seeing now. A lot of changes are going on in northern politics. It is no longer news that the northern part of the APC and even Shetima's team are not in agreement with the southern part of the APC and Tinubu's team. I have reported here how APC secretariats buildings were pulled down and are still being pulled down in many local governments in northern Nigeria. What is happening is that the north is trying to totally eliminate the APC, wipe them out of people's minds even before the next elections. And yesterday, I reported how northern clerics have told northerners to begin buying guns and manufacturing weapons to wage war against terrorists, bandits, and kidnappers who they confirm are sponsored by the APC. The cleric said it himself, Sheikh Yabo. He said the government, they are the ones sponsoring these people. And few hours ago, another big one happened. A top northerner pulls out of Tinubu's government via a resignation. The whole country stood still when the video of this man's interview after his resignation dropped. Because Nigerians are never the type to resign from government seats, no matter how small the positions are. But in this case, the occupant of one of the biggest positions in Tinubu's cabinet and in Nigeria, the Director General of Nigerian Intelligence Agency, NIA, Rufai Abubakar, tenders resignation. And in his interview after his resignation, he withheld his reason for dumping the cabinet. All the little reasons he gave never sounded convincing, meaning all is not well. Before I show you that video and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video coming straight from ASUU after their general meeting in Umuahia.
The union, led by its president, while addressing journalists in Umuahia, the Abia state capital, decried the continued poor funding of Nigerian universities and its education system. He said ASUU rejected the federal government's move to divert Tertiary Education Trust Fund Test Fund Intervention Grant to the Student Education Loan Scheme.
We want to give 50 billion to Nigerian students in all Nigerian universities, and you call it loan. But you will not give 90 billion to a small group going to pray, call Hajj, going to prayer, you give 90 million as subsidy. People going to do individual prayer, you give 90 billion as subsidy. The student who you are going to train, when they come back to develop our country, you say they'll take it as loan. Does it make any sense anywhere in the world? You can afford to give 21 billion to renovate or complete the building of one person, and that is the vice president. And now they say they are buying an aeroplane. They have bought an aeroplane for, I think, 150 billion just for one person. In which country will we succeed with just one person plane? And report circulating now, whether it is true or not, is that plane is a second-hand plane. When this government came in, we thought, having been aware of it, try with the President Chief of Staff being the one that was negotiating between we, finally, and government, that this issue would have been taken care of immediately. But once they got to power, we have not even been able to reach out to them, talk less of negotiation. And this is about more than 1.5 years now of this regime. This regime has just 2.5 years left. But they've done nothing, even when we have been patient. We agree express our displeasure and disappointment and the unwillingness of the respective visitors to arrest the unending management crisis and victimization in some public universities. These issues include, but not limited to, Kogi State University, Ayingba, where our members, for pushing for their right, were sacked by 115 of them in the past 7 years, and are still sacked. Ebonyi State University, where the chairman had been sacked for no reason, absolutely because he was pushing for the right and appropriate funding of the university. It is glaring that the platitude of "bear with us" no longer resonate with the suffering masses who cannot fulfill their family obligations and afford the price of social commodity. You can imagine one of the leaders of our nation saying, "Go and protest while we are eating." What does that sound to you as a country? For some, a unit of power supply is 16 naira. Then for some, 260 something naira. Where does that happen? The same thing.
At the end of the ASUU NEC meeting, it resolved to embark on a strike action if government fails to address all outstanding issues within the next 21 days.
You heard that. That was the president of ASUU, Professor Emmanuel Oshodeke, speaking there. ASUU is set to go on strike in the next 21 days, and believe me, nothing will be done. They will go on that strike. Nigerian government is so shameless, shamelessly battling with the problems of ASUU for decades, every successive government. And when ASUU strikes, all tribes and religions will be affected. Muslim, Christian, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, Igala, Idoma, Nigerian students from all tribes and religion are going to have their time wasted at home in the name of strike, destinies delayed as a result of bad governance. This is why we keep preaching that Nigerians must cast sentiments aside, elect and back the few politicians we have seen who have shown that they can do the job. I still believe that we have one last chance to save this country. Yorubas, Hausas, and Igbos watching me right now, if you still desire to have a country, then you must give a new Nigeria a chance, because with PO, a new Nigeria is still possible. Now, let us look at that resignation. Let's take the announcement before we take the interview of the ex-DG Alhaji Rufai Abubakar after he tendered his resignation. Breaking: Nigerian Intelligence Agency DG Rufai Abubakar tenders resignation to Tinubu. Now, let us take the video of his interview after that resignation.
It's a routine thing from time to time to brief Mr. President on situations, on issues, and today is no exception. After the briefing, actually, I tendered my resignation, and Mr. President graciously approved and accepted the resignation. I thanked him for giving me the opportunity to serve Nigeria under his transformational leadership for an extended period of 15 months, which is very rare, by the way, to have the opportunity to serve two presidents at a stretch, at a go. So I thanked him very well, and I promised to remain professionally dedicated to our country and to noble causes.
All right, so in this setting of Nigeria, it's rare to witness something like this for someone of your caliber to tender resignation. Nigerians will be curious to know why you're doing this.
There are quite a number of reasons one will do that. Some personal, family issues, but nothing very serious actually. And the friendship will continue. I discussed with Mr. President. He understood very well, and I promised to remain seized with issues and the security situations of the country.
So what was the reaction of Mr. President?
I think it's not for me to say this, actually. Probably I'll be preaching a protocol, but maybe the NSA and or Mr. President himself will say it. But what I can tell you is that I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity that the President gave me, actually, to serve the country and his leadership, the encouragement I got, the confidence he had in me and in my service, the opportunity to listen to me to read our briefing notes and our advices and so on. I think this for me is everything, and I've had the opportunity to mentor officers and staff for all the period that I've been DG. This is the 7th year, by the way, and the opportunity to mentor younger officers to come up. And now we have many officers who can do this job and do it excellently, very well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
You heard that. That was ex-Director General of the Nigerian Intelligence Agency, Alhaji Rufai Abubakar there. And from that interview, I couldn't lay hands on the real reasons why he resigned. I don't know if you could, but I couldn't. But I think it is obvious that all is not well within the Tinubu cabinet and the APC. And in the coming days, we are going to be seeing more facts about this update, this resignation. But if you ask me, I will say it could be for 2 reasons. Number one, in the words of Professor Udenta, this is simply the North pulling away from this government. Associating with this government and the APC right now is an unpopular step, is an unpopular thing to do in northern Nigeria. Hence, this resignation. And don't be surprised, we might be seeing more resignations like this. And secondly, the security situation in Nigeria is worse than it has ever been because of the compromise of the APC. So you are there at the NIA, maybe his own hands are clean, and maybe he's tired of fighting against the same government that employed him. As we speak, Northerners have started buying guns and producing weapons to take the battle to bandits and kidnappers themselves after they confirmed that these criminals are sponsored by government. Other parts of the country have vowed to do the same, and this man Alhaji Rabiu Abubakar might not want to be a part of what is coming because this is serious chaos. Of course, he is privy to information that you and I do not have, and he might just have had enough of trying to fight his employers. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here by Oluwatosin says, "This is just like the head of United States CIA resigning. He either got wind of a high-level intel that poses a huge threat, or he is unwilling to play a deadly game, or just got tired of abuses and breach of due process. Overall, this is highly disturbing." It is very disturbing, and this is what I'm trying to say. It is one of those things. Maybe he received intel of something coming that he doesn't think he has the psychological or emotional, wherewithal to deal with. And he's saying, I have had enough of all this rubbish, and he just does not want to be a part of it anymore. And this tweet here by Apostle Ojo Kor says, "What could have happened? Why the bizarre decision? Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy." Because we don't know where this country is going again. When things happen like this, some people may just say, it's nothing. Maybe he just resigned. It is when we begin to see the consequences that some will now cry out. This kind of man is supposed to be quizzed. Let us know what is actually going on. What is the reason before it is too late? And this tweet by the Warrior says, "Only a lunatic would serve under Tinubu and APC's terrorist administration." Chai. And Oluwafemi here says, "This is a first one. This is one of its kind." I've been trying to crack my brain to remember anyone who has resigned. I can't remember. I think one minister of power did resign, but I'm not sure. Resignations are so strange in Nigeria. And Andy here says, "Rare for someone to resign from a political appointment in Nigeria. The North is cooking something for Tinubu." That is also one area to look at it from. From the very beginning of the party APC, the very formation of the party, the foundation of it was evil. They only came together to grab power, for their selfish interest. We know that all politicians are selfish, but this their own. They didn't even have any single good intention attached to it. It was all about greed, land grabbing, destruction, killing, destroying, stealing. And that is why everything is going in this manner. Even from the Buhari regime, the APC had already fallen apart. It's just that the southwest part of it, they were just maintaining, the bargain so that they too can come into power. Because they felt that, okay, we had an agreement and the northern parts, they are already enjoying their own agreement with Buhari. So whatever they do to Nigerians, we are going to bear. We'll bear with them until we grab power. And that is what they have done. And now they are unleashing mayhem on the people of this country. This is just 1 year, 2 months, getting to 1 year, 3 months now. And everybody is fed up. Just as the international journalist said yesterday, she said everybody she knows is fed up of the government just after 1 year, 3 months. Insecurity, widespread, people dying daily. But this is the APC. I don't expect anything less. The situation may be bad. It may be terrible. It may be completely out of hand. But I maintain that it is still fixable if Nigerians will do the right thing. No matter how strong an organization claims to be, they cannot be stronger than the collective. There is power in our numbers in this country. If Nigerians can recognize that we cannot continue to suffer like this in a country where we have so much, if we can recognize that this leadership is the only problem we have in this country, let us just fix it. And when we do so, you will see how this country will turn around in a very short while. I'm not talking about decade. Fix the leadership problem of this country. Let the whole corruption in the subsidy regime be exposed. The whole corruption in insecurity, how some people are benefiting from it financially and don't want the problem resolved. How some people entered into contracts, to allow some wicked people to be going about killing and grabbing lands. When we have genuine people at the helm of affairs, all these things will be exposed. And in no time, all these problems will become a thing of the past. And the average Nigerian can enjoy the benefit of being a Nigerian. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here. So don't go.